Well, another episode of Aunt and Andrew with Family's Everything.
Until it's not, let me ask you, Andrew, how are you, first of all?
How's the
I,
FBI? How's the FBI going? How's the
I
FBI?
want to know first, what clothes do you have tailored? Do you have your underwear tailored?
No, I just have dress clothes, like nice clothes tailored.
Yeah. The only things I have tailored is if they're good.
Yeah, of
Like,
course.
yeah, if I buy something, off of Amazon and it's $30, if it doesn't fit, I send it back. But I've bought some things where you got to go get them tailored and then
Of
they look
course.
spectacular. But I know people who have every single thing they own. It doesn't matter what it is, they have it tailored. And I will say they always look good, but they spend a
That's amazing.
fortune on
It's also
tailoring.
a lot of
First
effort.
of all, Ryan doesn't look like that great of a dresser that he
He
would
does it.
have
And how do you like
everything
tailor a
tailored.
jean jacket with paint splattered on it? It doesn't work.
Well, that's the thing
To
I was
tell you
lying
something,
about.
just so we all know, I think the name is Trixie Chicks on one of our listeners commented that Alexis has a trans child. She's talked about it on a different
Oh,
podcast.
okay.
She never came on our podcast, so you don't have to say she talked about it on a different podcast.
No,
Now,
and she
if
hasn't talked about it on the show
if she,
either.
that's what
So,
I'm saying. She should say she talked about it on a podcast. So little
right.
Trixie, whatever your name is, Trixie Ticks.
Don't get
Um,
hostile with
no,
our
I'm not. I'm just
listeners.
saying you make it seem as if we should know that she talked about it on another podcast.
I
You
didn't
make
know,
a
and I
better
kind of know
comment and
everything.
say, "Oh, she talked about it on a podcast."
Yeah, it's
That's all
been,
I'm saying.
well, maybe they didn't, maybe
Well,
they were busy and they were just trying to inform you,
I don't
Trixie.
like busy.
Leave Trixie. Maybe is it the Trixie that owns the motel in Palm
No,
Beach?
no,
Are you
no, no,
sure? Um,
no, 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 no.
I want to say that Terry DeBro
Oh, Terry.
and his nose. It's first of all, his nose runs from the East Coast to the West Coast. I wonder if the new nose will be just in the Midwest.
Oh, yes. And what was the word Heather said? She said that he was
Admonishing her.
admonishing her.
Yes,
And then we saw the
yes.
hot mic moment that it was just about the show.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to tell
The
you
fake to bros, the foo bros.
that's exactly what I wrote down. I said to myself, they're so manufactured for the
Ugh,
screen,
I know.
for the camera. And I just thought, what are they really like? Oh, as soon as
They
the
plan it
camera
before they
on, it's
film.
all
They plan before they
ooh.
film.
Yes,
The difference
totally.
between them and Eddie and Tamra is that they plan before they film too, and then Tamra doesn't follow the plan. And poor Eddie's sitting there being like, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" And let me tell you, when I wrote down my notes, I wrote Tamra and Eddie, and then I wrote, and this is a Freudian slip, but it makes sense. I wrote Ryan and Jen. Why? Because it's really Tamra against Ryan. It's not
Yes.
Tamra against Jen. It's not Eddie against Ryan. It's Tamra against Ryan. And Tamra Judge proved why Tamra Judge is a housewife on this episode, because I don't care if she put her foot in her mouth. I don't care what she said is true. At the end of the day, she didn't say he knowingly. This goes to Watch What Happens Live as well. He allegedly right now Ryan is a part of a pretty big deal situation.
He
And if
is.
what is being said is true, he technically was part of a process that stole money from someone unknowingly, like unknowingly. Therefore, I think him and his boss or whatever on his side probably will just cooperate, share what they know, and as long as they get to the bottom of the theft, they're lucky. They may not get in trouble for operating illegal gambling and making illegal bets. That's all I'll be saying. I mean,
All
but
right, you're
yeah,
getting close to the mic again because you're getting excited.
no,
Yes, he is. He can't help it. It starts with the gambling bets. Um, what did you think? Let's get back because we could go on that. We're going to talk about the end.
okay, go.
Um, is
Spit it out. You're not delivering a
okay,
keynote, okay?
okay. What did you think of Shannon butt dialing Tamra after Tamra called her? Didn't leave a message, just called her and hung up, so to speak. And then Shannon called back and had the whole diatribe. Shannon's butt dial accident or planned?
Planned.
Yes, I agree. That's what I thought. I just thought the cameras are here.
No, no,
And might
no.
have
I don't think Tamra knew it was planned.
no, but I think Shannon planned
And
it.
I think Shannon had a producer with her wherever she was,
Yes.
and the other producer was with Tamra. I read it
Yes.
like a book.
Yeah, I did too. I just want to say, I think the whole butt dialing thing was a sham. I just
Yeah,
want to
it was
say
it
that.
was a Shannon sham.
Yeah. Yeah. I
It was a
totally.
Shannon, a shaman.
It was a sham. Do you think that it was a little scene, little tiny scene? But do you, maybe, you know what? I stepping away. I don't want to talk about it. I just
Wow.
decided. Well, I mean, it was on the show, but I thought it's weird when Emily said, "What should we bring to their house?" And the child said, "Pot."
Oh, I didn't think it was weird. I think they were
It
saying
was a
that they,
child. It
yeah,
was a child.
but I think that the kid's saying like you should bring pot because it'll zen them out, and you know that Ryan and Eddie want
He
to kill
was
each
like
other.
9 years old. What? How
And the
should he
kid,
even?
but I think that that's like the little kid this day. Like I'll tell you, like a little kid in my family can't wait till he turns 16 because he says he wants to go to Germany to drink wine, and he says it funny.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought the pot
So
thing
I
was
think in
weird.
California, where pot's been legal for a while, their whole life, the kid's 9, might think of it that way as like more of pushing boundaries and saying that, like to try to get attention on TV. Or if the kid was really thinking straight, maybe he was saying it's going to be a shitstorm, so get everyone high so they're all very zen.
Yeah, I thought that was a little weird. Anyways, that's just
Yeah.
me. Um, how could you? I think Johnny J is a piece of crap. We've discussed
I
this.
just think he's like using Alexis to do his dirty work. And also, like, I just feel like Alexis keeps saying, like, I feel bad, but something's gonna come out. Honey, you're part of putting it out. Like
Yeah,
you're making it seem like you are like that you work for a company and the company is putting something out and you're just like guilty by association. You are the situation. You are
yeah.
part of it, the day to day, the minute to minute.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Stop playing
Totally.
the victim. You're not the victim.
And not only that, but how can you be friends with someone whose husband sued you and now their new guy is suing one of your friends?
Well,
I mean, they
we have to say something.
obviously,
They don't, we have to remember we're watching a show that's now edited. We're also watching the confessional interviews. And as they're filming it, they're not only filming for hours at a time, they're not privy to. So, like, Tamara doesn't know what a small conversation would be with Alexis unless she's there. She only then sees it on TV of what might have gone down when Alexis was with 2 or 3 of the other women. And I just think the show is filming so fast, and they're all trying to avoid being the one to be like exactly what we saw happen on Salt Lake, where Lisa was like, Whitney, why did you tell Angie that? They're all any of them that are serious or that are seasoned housewives are trying not to repeat things that the other one tells them, and they move on from one scene to the next scene and then they film the next day and then they're edited in together. And so I actually believe them that when they say like, yeah, I knew about that a little bit, but I really didn't understand the depth of it until I watched it back on the show. Because, and I also can see why some of them are like, it didn't really go down that way, because I just don't think it does. So I think that
okay.
a lot of the times, like what we're watching, it seems so much more obvious of like, why are you supporting that person? Why are you okay with that? And I feel that in the moment, it's just not as black and white.
So you do think it's editing?
Oh, I think it's editing, manipulative editing. Like, I don't think these shows, I've said this before on this podcast, I don't think these shows are scripted. I think there is manipulative editing. Like, and I
Okay.
think manipulative
All
planning
right.
and production. What I mean by that is they're going to put 2 people that hate each other on the same trip. And then we wonder why they have to go their separate ways. And that becomes storyline. And then we wonder why, Alexis then has to stay back and doesn't go to dinner and is crying because that's part of the storyline. Like, but they
Right.
make this uncomfortable situations happen so that then there becomes a storyline.
I get you. So who do you think is more bored as a house husband? Eddie or Shane? Who's more
Oh,
bored at
Eddie's
the
not bored at
party?
all.
Oh,
Eddie's not bored. Eddie just has self-control and doesn't want to get into the weeds of it, but he's not bored at all. He probably has anxiety crippling until the end of the night of what did my wife's big mouth say today? What are we going to get sued for tomorrow? What pot did she stir tonight? Like, also, like, of course, I'm sure Ryan did say some things, but as I said to start this podcast, I look at it as Tamara and Ryan, and I think that Jen and Eddie are collateral damage.
okay. All right. That's interesting. I
Like,
thought
yeah.
Eddie hates this life.
He
was
does.
my
Oh, he
opinion.
hates it.
He hates
But he's
this,
not
but he likes
disengaged.
the
He can't
money.
be disengaged because Tamra, yeah, he likes the money. And even Tamra said, this is the other thing. Have we not learned, Tamra, you are too smart. Do not talk about how much money you're making on anything on TV. Why'd you put that out there
Yeah,
on Andy? Why'd you say we make 3 times that or whatever?
that
And
whatever. Now,
also,
how much is Tamara making off of Housewives?
I don't know about Housewives, but I did the math on her CBD. I looked online. It looks
Okay.
like an associate making a bet on someone's behalf for a bookie would make anywhere from like 3 to 5%. So Ryan made about 500, 600, maybe $700,000 on making that bet just by, being the intermediary, right?
Okay.
So,
Are you talking
so
about
Tamara's
Ryan
saying,
on the
so
bet?
Tamara's
Yeah.
making about like 1.5 million a month on the CBD thing. I want to know how
Oh.
that works.
Yeah. Me too. I don't think so.
Same.
Yeah. I don't think so.
But I hope
If
your
she-
books are straight, Tamara, because someone's going to come looking at you now making that kind of money.
Yeah, that's true.
So if
That's a
I were
good
you, I'd say I
observation.
exaggerated because if not, they're going to look at every little thing you've tried to hide for all these years, which you probably have.
Correct. But I'm saying now, how much do you think she makes as a housewife, Tamara? $1 million?
750,000, I think.
Okay, 750,000. Take away this, that, $500,000. Say,
Less
give
than
or
that
take.
probably pays
All right. By the
returning
time, right, all of this stuff. But without it,
400,000
but without it, she's not making money on her CBD oils and
or
all that.
podcast. She doesn't have a
Yeah,
podcast.
right, and all of that. Okay, so it feeds the beast.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I think Eddie, for the 12 scenes he's in, since he doesn't have a job, so to speak, but then neither does Ryan, does he really?
I mean, what do you do, Ryan? I've been in real estate. Then I was in this. That was Bravo. So shady what they did to him outside.
That was so shady, Ryan. What do you do? I do this. I do this. I do
But
this.
that's
I
why
do
I'm
that.
saying, like, don't be surprised that Bravo is not like clearly Bravo is aligning with Tamra in the Ryan fight based off how they're editing Ryan. Clearly,
True.
Bravo is aligning with Shannon in the Johnny J. Alexis fight because of
Correct.
how they're editing Shannon. So they probably
But
don't mad that this is on TV because it's showing them good, not bad.
right, but I think that Tamra is being shown in a nice light with Ryan because she's the bad. So it gives her 2 sides of her good side and her bad side, her Jekyll, her Hyde.
Yep.
Okay, so that she can be mean with Shannon and then she can be mean with Ryan, but the Ryan thing makes her the good Shannon, and I mean the good Tamra, and the other one is the bad Tammy Sue.
And Tammy Sue showed up for Watch What Happens Live, no pun intended, because of Ekin Sue that was on. Andy kept
Right.
calling her Tammy Sue.
Yeah.
And that's where she got herself in trouble with Ryan.
Yeah, she did.
She didn't when she said, "How's the FBI going?" Because like she's not making any accusations other than I heard the FBI called you.
The FBI, yeah. And if you want to know more about the latest allegations and
Check out our hot topics this week.
hot topics, check out our hot topics because there's a continuation of the Ryan story. Now, Shane also looked bored.
Oh, well, Shane
And-
is bored.
Yeah, Shane is boring. He is. But I thought it was so funny when Katie was like, well, I can't cook for all these people. What were there, 8 people there? I guess she's never had one of our holidays where 23 people are in
Yeah,
the
but that's
house.
different. This is like she was like,
No,
I don't.
but the funny part is she was like, I can't cook for these 8 people. I'm just gonna put it on good dishes and they won't know I didn't cook it. And then she left them in the silver foil. She didn't
I
even
know.
take them out of the silver tins.
It was
I'm thinking to
shocking.
yourself, will you please put them on a platter? Everybody has a platter. Pretend. You know what I've done before? Oh my gosh, I've gone to a local market that has really good banana bread and they slice it in the container. And I've actually put it together, wrapped it in a foil and put a
giving it
bow on
away?
it and said, here's some banana bread.
That's better than going to the local grocery store and buying the worst cookies and putting them on a plate for dessert at a holiday.
Oh, that's better than the sprinkle
My
cookies
famous
too.
brownies. Wink, wink.
I want to tell you, okay, so Eddie
It's
isn't
not about
happy.
the pasta. I mean, it's not about the pies, so you never know.
Eddie, okay, at what point does anybody ever step in these shows and say, okay, you're cut off, no more liquor?
Well, I mean, Eddie kind of did that as much as he can. I was just happy he didn't take the face grabbing further. I was nervous for him there because
Mm.
you could tell that I was just waiting for all the woke feminist Me Too people to be like Tamara didn't care. Like I don't, he probably wasn't grabbing her hard. It was probably just like,
No, he was trying to focus her.
I love you, stop it. He
Well,
wasn't
no,
like
okay.
grabbing her hard or
Listen,
anything. No,
I wouldn't want him to do that to me.
but you wouldn't be doing what Tamara's doing.
No, no. As a married woman, I would have a problem if Eddie did that to
Okay.
me. But if my spouse did it, I would believe he was in the, and I was out of control. He's the only one who
Got
can
it.
rein you in.
Got
Okay.
it.
So when you talk about Me Too and all that, it would be different
If it
if
was a random guy
Shane
doing
did
it.
that to Tammy
Yep.
Sue.
Yep.
But it's her husband's
He beat the
responsibility.
shit out of Shane. Let's call it what it is.
That's true. But it is your spouse's responsibility, whether it's no matter what the dynamic is.
Gender. It doesn't matter about the genders. Yeah, yeah.
Right. When Juicy Joe pulled Teresa back, he was the only one who could really pull her back. But I believe Albie Manso did too.
Yeah, he did, but he
Yeah,
probably
he
took
did.
Joe's lead. And
Yeah.
I'll also say that,
That was a different
oh no,
time.
Albie grabbed Danielle.
Oh, okay. I knew Albie got involved.
Chris Larita grabbed Teresa too.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
if you guys want to watch a knee slapper and you want a real hour and a half of delusion with now one of my favorite new podcasts, the Straightened Out podcast with Jennifer Graziano, Mob Wives creator.
oh, he
And
loves anything with the mob
no,
wives.
they have these two people. One of them is, I think her name's Tanzi Macaroni or something. And this other guy, Rob
Okay.
Pepe. He's so good. They're so funny. They're all Staten Island. They had Danielle Staub on for an hour and a half. And if
Oh,
you watch this, the delusion is at its peak and it's 2024. Danielle Staub is at her peak and she is saying so much of like, I can't even go into it. I have to do our own podcast, but she is so delusional and it is gold. It is
I bet.
absolute gold.
Does Danny make a special appearance?
No.
Oh, it's too
But
bad.
I
Okay.
wish they talked about Danny Provenzano because that's when Jennifer Graziano would be like, he's not really part of the mob, Danielle.
All right.
Hell's
Okay.
Angels is not the mob.
No, they're worse than the mob.
But they're also not like the mob. They're not secret. They're out. Like they ride their bike. Like it's not like a secret society.
No, it's a secret society.
Then that's why they don't walk in and
Listen.
say, I'm the Hell's Angels.
I'm going to tell you something. I much rather have
You
the
dated a
mafia
Hell's
after me than
Angel.
Hell's
I know.
Angels.
You told me you dated a Hell's Angels before.
I did.
Didn't you? No, you've been with your husband since you were like 17 years old, so I guess not.
I
You
didn't
know
date
some of them.
Hell's
You know
Angel.
someone?
I do know a few.
Oh, that's what it
Yeah,
was.
I would never cross that path.
Allegedly.
No, not well, of course, allegedly, because there's nothing like, whatever. I'm gonna tell you, never had a problem with one of them. Sweetest men
Of course.
in the world. Okay, what is it with the podcasts as we have one?
Ugh.
We had the same story going on in Salt Lake.
But
You
Tamara
went on
still
the
can't give a
podcast. You
reason of
said
what
this.
Ryan
You said
said.
that. Tamara goes on her podcast and she talks about people every
But
single
her
day.
podcast is about talking shit about housewives. Ryan went on another podcast.
I
to talk shit about
understand
Tamara.
that. So it's okay for Tamara to have a
Tamara
podcast.
also doesn't talk about OC on her podcast.
Oh, but
They
she
have-
talks about everything else.
No, she doesn't record the recaps for OC. Erica Jane does with Teddy.
No. But she talks about everything else. Tamara.
I know,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah,
her
yeah.
job. That's not her on the show.
Yeah, but
It's not
I'm
her
going to just say,
coworkers.
I'm going to say this. If somebody wanted to review us and rip us apart,
Please do it.
do it. I'd be so happy.
I'd love it.
And yeah, me too. So I don't understand how Tamara believes that it's okay for her to go on her podcast and rip people apart, but then somebody else can't go on another podcast and rip her apart. That doesn't
No.
make sense. That's
No.
I'm just saying, that's how I see it. If anybody wants to rip me, go ahead.
Yeah.
Bring it.
We'll go on Jennifer Graziano's podcast, The Straighten.
Oh, I would love
Podcast.
that.
Straighten us out. We'll tell you
I
everything
would
about
love it.
Housewives.
Yeah,
We'll tell you
yeah.
everything. You know that I met with her once, Jennifer Graziano, and her business partner Marvin, when I was about to be on Eden's World. And
Oh,
I met
well,
with
that's
them because they were
exciting.
managing Big Ange and Renee Graziano, and I met with them to manage me. It didn't go further than the meeting because my show had barely any ratings, but I was being proactive. I was thinking about them endorsement deals. Didn't go anywhere. Didn't go
Good
anywhere.
for you.
Yeah, thanks.
Now, Tamara dropped the bomb
Oh yeah,
of the FBI.
yeah.
And
Jennifer didn't know, allegedly.
once again,
What?
why
What?
is she always look clueless? Talk about who's smoking pot before they film.
How about just the fact that she looks like
But
she
I
like
don't think she's smoking pot before she
no, she's an
films.
idiot.
Yeah, she's just
She's a
clueless.
moron.
Oh my gosh, she's just
There's a
walking
block,
around.
something
Oh my gosh. It's so bad with Jen. I
so
just
bad.
want her and the way she's going. But Eddie, I don't have a problem with you. Well, you do now. Now you do.
I know, right?
Now you do. Now you do.
But then like Emily sees Ryan at the gym every morning. Like it's all just so weird to me of like because like Ryan also puts on such a show. He walks into the bar to Katie's house, sunglasses on. Nice to see you. Thanks for having us, man. It's
Yeah.
great to see you. It's like, oh, and then he's like, no hug. And I have to give I saw myself in Eddie. I think you did too.
Yes, but I could also see some of my relatives on a different side who come in like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an Armenian thing that Ryan, you say hi to everyone, even if you're ready to stab them in the
Okay.
back. I got that. That's kind of how I felt about that because I got a little Armenian blood in me. And they can come in and even if they hate you, they'll pretend for the event,
Got it.
especially if there's food involved.
Oh yes.
You know what I mean?
To
And
go.
they
Yeah, yeah,
make
yeah.
out like nothing's ever happened between you and they didn't do anything wrong. So I'm
Totally.
actually surprised this is only the second Armenian that they've had on the Housewives in all
Very
these years
true. Very
because they're
true.
in OC and there's a lot of Armenians in Orange County. And I'm surprised they're a wealth of information.
So now this has opened up the Shonei Ohtani story.
Yeah, storyline.
So let's see where it goes.
And do you think that
If I was Tamra, I'd wear a Shonei Ohtani jersey and
oh
film.
yeah. Oh, that'd be good.
Shady. I'd
Um,
wear it to the reunion, a dress that says like a Dodgers dress that's like a hot
oh,
outfit
that's
that says like
hardcore.
Ohtani on the back.
That's hardcore.
Or if she got everyone on the cast, I got you all gifts and gave them each a
You should
Shonei
show
Ohtani
it.
jersey.
Now, do you think that Eddie was worried about what she was going to say, how she was going to say it, or that she'd had quite a bit of alcohol and he couldn't rein her in?
I think at the time they didn't know maybe some of the details. They just knew they maybe got rumblings that the FBI raided his house, and that's how they knew that the FBI, because they probably heard from someone on the street or a neighbor or someone. I don't think they knew much detail, so I don't think Eddie was as worried because I don't think they knew. I think that Eddie probably was really annoyed on Watch What Happens Live, sitting in the audience, knowing what Tamara was saying and knowing, like, based on just what we've seen people because this is the other thing. We've seen other Bravo celebrities sue because of things like this or have
Yeah,
issues. And that's why
right.
it's like, that's why I feel like he knew right away, oh, he's gonna sue. Because
Mm,
even if he did what he's allegedly, as I said before, alleged of doing, what she said isn't true. She missed a key word. She said he stole from the baseball player.
yeah.
And even if what's happening is true, it's that he unknowingly was part of this scheme, like that he just placed the bet. He didn't know that the interpreter was stealing the money. And that's, yeah. So
Okay, so
he
here's the
put her foot in her
question.
mouth.
Am I correct in remembering that Eddie was a lawyer or is a lawyer and he doesn't practice law?
I don't know. I'll look.
I have a feeling Eddie was a lawyer or he had some big company with his dad and he stepped away to do this. I could have swore. And so sometimes I think when Eddie is trying to rein her in, he's aware that what she's saying could get them in trouble.
I don't know if he's a lawyer.
He's something. Ed Judge was something.
Business administration.
Oh, okay. All right. Then he had some company with his father and it didn't go well. I don't know why I thought it was a law firm. Oh, you know what? Maybe his dad was the lawyer.
His was. Yeah.
Oh, okay, his dad
Tamra
was a
Barney's
lawyer.
husband, Eddie Judge, named in lawsuit by former employees suing father's law firm for wrongful termination.
Okay. And I
Yeah.
think he did something at the dad's law firm that was like mortgages or something like that.
Yep.
Okay, so Eddie did do something like that. So Eddie is keyed up on the law, though. I think if he's done contracts and his father was a lawyer, Eddie could be seeing everything she says as a potential lawsuit, knowing that Jim Bellino has already sued them. Remember, Eddie's a little bit scarred there, even though Tammy Sue is able to forgive Alexis. I wouldn't be able to. And that cost them a lot of money. And then they're talking about just pay the money, just pay the money. No, if I was Shannon, I wouldn't pay the money either.
I wouldn't
I'd pay
either.
it. I wouldn't either. I don't care if it would cost me $500,000 not to pay $75,000. I probably
Totally.
would.
Do
And
cameos, Shannon. Just keep doing them, sweetie.
with Archie in bed. But I think Eddie is more cautious because he sees that Shannon's being sued by Johnny J and that he's already paid Alexis Bellino's
No, he wasn't.
husband, Jim.
They weren't together then.
But but
Eddie.
he knows Shannon. He knows Tammy Sue was sued.
Yeah.
So he knows Tammy Sue's been sued. Shannon's been sued. Shannon's being sued again. He's worked around law. He's probably a little skeptical about these people. Who's going to drop a lawsuit next?
Yeah. The issue is I don't know how much Ryan can say because he is part of an active investigation. So it's like there's stuff like the evidence on Ryan's side probably can't be unsealed. Like Ryan may have evidence to show that he didn't know, that he didn't steal, all of that. And he might, I don't know. This is going to be dirty. This is going to be ugly. Who's your mess?
Oh, well, Tammy a little
Yeah,
bit when
Tammy
she
Sue.
got drunk.
She did great for us as viewers, but
Yeah.
she's going to have some personal mountains to climb now.
Yeah. Who did Katie's husband remind you of when he had these people in his house?
He reminds me of the guy who owns Apple.
Okay.
Tim Cook. He looks just like him, doesn't he?
Yeah, a little. I can see the resemblance. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. He just reminded me of like one of these husbands that were like, what the heck did my wife get me into? Like, there's cameras here. Now they're fighting. I didn't sign up for this, but they did.
They kind of look alike. Are you serious? They kind of look alike.
They look alike. They look alike. Everybody, leave us a message. Does Katie's husband, whom I can't remember his name because he's too new, look like, okay, there's a similarity. Yeah.
Yeah, twins.
Tim Cook. Yeah,
and
okay.
Anderson Cooper. All right.
Okay.
Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Subscribe, like, comment. We love you. Tell us everything you hate about us. Review us. We love you. But tell us
we'd love you to do insult us.
Bye.